Yeah, right before I was about to start, my little sister called and said I was an idiot for loaning anyone $8,000. That was a coworker at my job. So, before you guys judge me, let me explain. So, for those of you that know me personally, prior to me working in Manhattan, I used to deliver liquor for 8 years. So I'm kind of familiar with different towns and areas in New Jersey, North Jersey especially, because that's where we used to deliver. North Jersey and Central Jersey, and then we had a different division that took care of South Jersey. But anyway, after that, I got out of that work and I started working in Manhattan. That's when I got into actually using my degree in business with both management and marketing, and working for this corporate housing provider, which is pretty much instead of people renting renting hotels in the city for long stays, they would rent fully furnished condos. So this was before Airbnb and stuff like that. So people would buy condos and then they'll just like lease them out to companies like the one I was working for, where we would put the furniture inside of the places and this, that, and the third, and then we'll be like the managing party between the people that are staying, get the money, get our cut, and then send the difference to the owner and stuff like that. It was a very lucrative business. I'm not gonna say it still is because Airbnb and all this other stuff pretty much destroyed that industry. But yeah, with me working there and me first starting, it was very difficult as it is with starting any new job. And I had a very strong supporting cast, starting to work there. And then there was actually this other girl. I'm not going to, say her name or anything like that, but she was a very cool person when I met her, and she was very helpful. She saw that I had the knowledge and I was a pretty good person, nice person, and stuff like this from, of course, what I was showing her. So anyway, um, she pretty much tried to help me out as much as possible. And with me like sharing, introducing myself and stuff like this, I would tell her like what I'm into and things of that nature. Little conversation you'll have at jobs and shit just to parlay and have time, go by and stuff like that. So I would tell her I'm like into cars and stuff like this and how I sold my FD for right after my son was born, for some extra money and this, that, and the third at the time. And she was like, "Oh yeah, my boyfriend's into cars too. He had a Nissan." Sorry with the whole voice change shit. I kind of do that when I tell stories. But yeah, he had like a Nissan Z, and it's not as cool as FD, but I was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." This, that, and the third. It was like, "Yeah, that's his project car. He's been working on it for so long." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But then she was telling me how he wanted a Tesla eventually. And I was like, "Okay, cool." Long story short, months go by, we build our relationship, we become cooler. She actually lives in New Jersey, so we would like walk to the train station together, stuff like that. I'll be like her big brother slash bodyguard and stuff like this. And she'll look out for me, get me breakfast, and vice versa. And we just built that bond because we were both headed back to the New Jersey, and we take like the same train. She would go back and get off at Secaucus, take a different train, and I would just continue going to Newark in the hood and this, that, and the third. And we pretty much became cool, very cool. And I kind of knew she was a little, uppity and had money because she would talk about like where she's from and her parents having money and her father had passed away. So, and how he like left inheritance and he had stocks and he left a lot of stuff for them and this, that, and the third. And I wouldn't think anyone would lie about that. So she had told me, this was months later, how her boyfriend, she was going to surprise him with a Tesla and this, that, and the third. She wasn't going to buy the Tesla. She was going to pay like the down payment and stuff for it. Because the boyfriend, I think he was like an engineer or something like that. So he was making six figures. So, and her working was like her way of staying out of, the house and just having her own money. And she had a vehicle as well. She had an X5 or whatever. But she really didn't like driving. She liked being chauffeured around. So she had shares in Apple. This when Apple shares were high, and then around the time when she wanted to purchase the Tesla or put the down payment down, the shares were dropping. They were dropping dramatically. I remember looking at it, and I would like tell her like, "Yo, you need to get them fucking you need to sell them shares because them shit's going down." So let's say at one point she had like 50-something thousand in shares. At the time of her selling, because it took a while, the shit was like around like 14,000, and she was like flipping the hell out. But anyway, she needed the money for the down payment. And, we built the relationship. So I'm like, why not? You know what? Here you go. $8,500 because she kind of like hinted it to me because I told her I sold my car and I kind of had a stash, so it wasn't like I was beasting for money at the job, and she kind of noticed that because I wasn't going crazy for a paycheck every week or whatever. And she hinted it to me like, oh, you think? And I was like, you know what? Don't even, I got you. Just tell me where to send it, blah, blah, blah. But this is the requirements. Like, you got to have my money back. It's going to be like $300 interest each month. And yeah, she was like, no, I'm just waiting for it to cash out and then I'll give it to you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, cool. Long story short, how I knew where she lived was, like I said, she was uppity. So she would tell like another coworker of hers that she was cool with, kind of not cool with, where she lived. And she would tell him, oh, I live in North Helden. I was like, oh, okay. I was familiar with the area, so I'm like, oh, that's a pretty decent area. So then the other girl was like, oh, can I see your house? So she Googled it. She used the company's tablet and Googled it. And she showed. It was like a little small, little fucking cube. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I look at the bottom because, you know, Google, it says what the address is. I'm like, you know, that's not North Helden, right? She was like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, the number streets are Patterson. That's the hood. But I kind of like set it on the low because I didn't want to embarrass her. And she was like, no, I live in North Helden. And I'm like, I know Patterson and I know the hood. Those are number streets. And the reason I remember is because, like, say, for instance, the numbers were close, like the address in the street. So if it was like 17th, 16th Street, that's not the house, but it was like that. That's how I remembered it. And I'm good with numbers. It sticks in my head. So that's how I remember where she lived. So the date, like, towards the end when she was working there, she kind of got caught for doing something illegal. So that's why she got fired. She was working for 2 companies on the low. For example, like with our company, she was working for another company similar to ours. And if she wasn't booking it with us, she was booking it with the other company and getting the commission there because our company didn't have commission. So she was very sneaky. And that's how she got fired, because she got caught because you know how on your iPhone, you send an email, you could accidentally send it from the wrong place. And she sent the reply from the original company when she was supposed to be sending it from the second one. And that's how she got caught up. So I remember the day when she got fired, and then my boss, you know, brought her to the office, blah, 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 and then, like, terminated right there on the spot. And then I'm looking at her like, oh. And she was like, oh, I'll speak to you later. I'll talk to you. Because I was, like, her best friend at the job after the other girl or whatever. And we used to go home that way. So she was like, I'll text you. And she was sad. So, you know, I gave her some time, let her go home, this, that, and the third. But then I noticed she started being, like, very distant. Very distant. Now, I follow up with her. It wasn't on the money shit, but, you know, money was the priority because it was mine. And she owed it to me. And I'm like, what's going on? How's everything with you? Are you all right? You know, this, that, and the third. And, you know, how's your boyfriend taking it? Because this was after they purchased the car, too. Because she even sent me the pictures of, you know, when they got it and how cute they were together next to it. So, you know, that Tesla was part of mine. Even though I never got to drive it or get in it or anything like that. Because she told her boyfriend that her brother gave her the money. Not knowing that the brother was a black guy. That he already knew in her past she used to date black guys. And the last ex was a Jamaican, and I'm a Jamaican. So she didn't want him knowing that. So anyway, I'm trying to like speed this up. There's a lot of details, but I'm gonna get to the nitty gritty stuff. So, like I said, after she got fired, she was very distant. She didn't want to, you know, respond too much. She just kept saying, I'm gonna get it to you, blah, 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 blah. But it was taking too long. So then one day I just got fed up. It was a Saturday morning. I got up like 6:50 something. I said I was gonna go get breakfast. I was going to Burger King or some shit like that. I said, fuck that. I went to Burger King. And I drove to where she lived. This is the first time I ever went there because I remember the street and the address. So I said, let me go. Go there. Because I remember the image. I got like a photographic memory when it comes to stuff like that. Especially when it involves money. Went there. Boyfriend was outside. Because I guess he was like doing yard work. And then he went inside. I wasn't going to bust out on him like right there. That's like kind of crazy. So I didn't want to do that. He went inside. I went to the door. Rang the doorbell. He came out. He looked. He was like, hey, how can I help you? I said, oh, yeah, is Christy here? I said it like that, too. I didn't want to, you know, spill everything right then and there. He was like, yeah, she's here, this, that, and the third. And mind you, they were engaged. So I know it looked very, like, awkward. I was like, yeah, nah, I'm her coworker, this, that, and the third. And he was looking like, how do you know where I live? Like, why do you know where I live? And I was like, I ain't spill all that information. I just was like, it's Christy here. She'll know why I'm here, this, that, and the third. She comes to the door, and she was like shocked as fuck. She was shocked as fuck to see me. So I think I kind of said her name. It don't really matter anymore. So she was shocked to see me, and she like was like, you know, on him, like touching his chest, like, babe, it's okay, go inside, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's one of those. He don't know. I could tell he don't know by the way you're acting. So she pushes him in, and I could tell he was like a little frustrated because he's like, what the fuck's going on? And I'm talking to her, just me and her, because she closed the door behind, and she's in a little nightgown shit, little Asian girl or whatever. And I'm like, so what's going on with my money? Like, it's been a minute. Like, it's like, why are you here? I told you it's gonna take some time, blah, blah, blah. I said, it's taking too long. How do you know where I live? Are you stalking me? I said, I'm not stalking you. I know where you live because you told us where you live. She's like, no, I didn't, this, and the third. And I'm like, so you think I would just know where you live out of nowhere? Like, come on. So, but I didn't even bring it up or try to, you know, do that because that was besides the point of reminding her when she told me. So she's like, oh, I'll get you the money, blah, 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 this, and the third. And so I said, all right, whatever. She went inside. He came out to the car. He was like, what's going on, this, and the third? I was like, you got to speak to your girl, man. She knows why. I could have told him. I could have been honest, like, yo, she wanted to get you a car. I'm a car enthusiast as well. I thought it was a nice gesture for what she was trying to do. The money wasn't available. And I said, you know what? I'll front it. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted her to be clean and, like, let him know so he could see, like, I'm not a messed up guy. I'm a nice guy. We had a friendship. That's all it was. I never fucked her. Or did anything like that. But he might have looked at it a different way because of that. Because most guys aren't like that. And, you know, her last boyfriend was Jamaican and all this other stuff. So it might have looked very weird. So I wanted her to tell the story so it wasn't, or it didn't seem anything, but she never told him because even after that, she just told her mother. Her mother rushed to get the money and then had the money wire transferred to my account, and that was it. That she, next thing you know, restraining order. She texts me, oh, I got a restraining order on you, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, because she said her boyfriend's uncle was there and he's a police officer. I'm like, if he was there, he would have came outside. What the fuck? I didn't do anything wrong. You owe me money. I have all the details in my account showing that I sent you the money and all that stuff. So I could tell the story and then I'll look like the saint and you'll look like the big ass liar. So I didn't want to do that to her. And still to this day, like certain days I be thinking like, yo, maybe one day I should pull up and see the boyfriend and let him know. But I'm like, you know what? Let the truth be the truth. And if he not going to find out, she going to play that game and do stuff like that, move the way she move, let that be it. But yeah, I got my money back. I didn't get the interest, but I got my money back. It was the principal. And I know they were supposed to get married. And if they didn't because of that, that's her fault for being a little sneaky biatch. But yeah, that's the time I loaned the Coworker $8,500. And yeah, it was a very awkward situation, but I got it back. Peace.